Hello again, Phil Harvey here at Network X Americas in Irving, Texas, and joining me is Lori. She's the Senior Vice President of Strategy for MetTel. Lori, thanks so much for taking some time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for making the time for me, Phil. It's great to see you again.
Great to see you as well. You're on a panel here at the show, and I wanted to ask you about that first because of the content. The theme has to do with edge computing and what the cloud and working with cloud providers and edge providers. And there's a lot for telcos of any size. There's a lot of partnering that needs to happen. What's your sort of experience in that area with MetTel and your partners, and how do telcos sort of ensure that they're not getting, I guess that they're not making life too hard for themselves as they're trying to avail themselves of more edge computing, more cloud, and keep their customers connected?
Yeah, it's a great question, and certainly it's one that I think both we as a vendor, as a telco, and also as a service provider, as well as enterprises, need to think about who can really have the right interconnections, interoperability. For us, looking with partners like VMware and Samsung, our Starlink provider, I look at it as making sure that there's someone that can bring to the enterprise a fully connected platform. It's so daunting right now, all the piece parts and components that require edge compute, particularly around security and network. And our part in that is the network and the connectivity. But we also bring together the platform that can aggregate the reporting, the data analytics, everything, the monitoring, management and monitoring, all of those pieces for enterprises is daunting. And it's also it could be a huge price tag. So for them to find the right partner that's fully integrated with those that can have really seamless interoperability, I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's a good bit of advice, because I think, in MetTel's heritage is kind of more of not just being a service provider, but also being a partner to other service providers, not just reselling lines and connectivity, but packaging that in such a way that the enterprise just knows that it's going to happen.
Exactly.
With that sort of legacy, how does that give you guys an advantage when you're taking on new connectivity services or, like edge computing, where there's kind of a completely different need in the market?
It's interesting. I almost feel like the opportunity for the edge is because the macro 5G network, I think you might have talked about it this morning, is not really there. It'll get there, but it's not there. So we see all of this, as a WAN manager of WAN and a SD-WAN provider, we see the networks, they're getting full and they're filling up very quickly, and the customers are constantly having to upgrade bandwidth, and it's a real challenge. But to me, that's an indicator the edge is ready now. And so when we put all of this together and aggregate it, a great example is we put together a demo where it was a 5G LTE enabled, capable private mobile network, which we've done for years, but now the customers are asking. We put it in a piece of luggage, layered in our Starlink services to backhaul, and now we're productionalizing it, because think about construction sites or really remote locations. We have a huge customer that is private, but they work for big government agencies, and they're helping with the migrants coming over, and these sites just pop up everywhere. We're now enabling them with satellite service, with our partners at VMware, with Starlink, to have a privatized 5G capable network that, before that was never capable. And then we layer in our single SIM technology, and then it's mobile, and they can track wherever the carrier signal is strongest. So that all sounds great, but to put that all together takes a tremendous amount of collaboration. And it's the byproduct of this. There's so many offshoots that we never thought about before, even sustainability metrics. We're now putting all of those components onto one board, one rack, if you will. It's smaller carbon footprint. We're taking all of that packaging and we're recycling it before it ever leaves our warehouse. And it's one delivery, one dispatch. So all of that is saving money, but it's also saving a lot of energy for the customers. So I think there's tons of opportunity, but I keep stressing it, but I think having partners that can work together and be able to produce for the customer what that ROI is. What am I getting for all this? Because we're a managed service, so it's
Right.
seamless. You have to be able to evidence it in the reporting.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's not just bringing everything together. It's not just the packaging. It's not just the delivery. They've got to see the proof on the other side and the measurement. Because
Exactly.
we're all measuring everything now, so we have to do that. But back to MetTel's partners. You're having an event in a few weeks.
Yes.
Where you're getting together with your partners, talking about the technology that you're working on. Do you want to give us a preview of what's happening there, and then also give us an idea of like what kinds of partners do you talk to at this event? Like what kinds of companies are you working with?
I would love to. It's very near and dear to my heart. This is our 10-year anniversary, so
Okay.
we're very excited about it. It's closed, unfortunately, so a lot of these exciting things don't necessarily all get out to the media, so thank you for giving me a little bit of a platform to talk about it. It's a customer-only forum where we have 100, 150 of our largest customers, global multinational corporates,
Okay.
and our partners that we're going to have Samsung, Google, SpaceX. They're not only talking about satellite and LEO technology and what we're doing with it, but they're actually talking about human transport, which MetTel is not selling yet.
Okay.
But when our customers are ready, we'll be there. But to see what we try and say to our customers is you'll see the future here. So
Okay.
and we're making it come to life. So some of the really exciting things that we're going to be announcing probably just after the summit is a partnership with Dell, Samsung, and Qualcomm. And I'll be talking about on my panel tomorrow around the edge. For me, one of the most exciting things is the expansion of the edge. It's not just the branch or the hospital anymore. It's actually, laptops and it's devices out there. And I think, for us, with the evolution of working with VMware as a partner, Broadcom, the SD-WAN client, it's network and security challenges of the past were just too significant, and it was a barrier. Now, with the evolution of SD-WAN, with the SASE framework, we're seeing customers are now ready to have these edge compute, and then you've got AI layered in. We're going to have a huge segment of discussion around generative AI.
Okay.
I think a couple of days ago they announced that Dell World Microsoft with Copilot 4
That's right.
exploding everywhere, right? So
Yeah.
you're seeing this tipping point of customers now coming saying, we need to make decisions, we need all these data points to make them quickly at the edge rather than sending all this traffic over the cloud to the data center, trimming it, processing it. They want that AI inference now happening at the site. And I think we're uniquely positioned with our partners to do that because we have the strong network capabilities and connectivity. So.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot going on. But
Yes.
if you're an enterprise of any age, like say you've been in business a while and you're just getting your feet wet and you're not really sure what edge computing can bring to you, what would you say to that kind of company? Like what type of applications, what type of metrics could you bring to their business that they don't already have?
Yeah, I think most of the conversations I have with enterprises, no matter where they are in that maturity curve, are feeling pressure from the board, from the outside, about how do we enter this space, this next wave of generative and AI, LLMs,
Right.
what have you. At minimum, automation is required.
Sure.
And I think they look to MetTel, we did this 5-7 years ago for our own network, automating and using robotic process automation and AI very successfully. We brought it to our customers, triaging the intake in our call centers. I think they're looking at that now. So they're saying, where do we begin? Let's look at just automation. And in order to do that, we can give you a private network that's secure and be able to process that with some of our partners more seamlessly. And I think a big part is education. It's, you see a lot now with the economy and a lot of changes in leadership.
Sure. Yeah.
Customers don't have a good handle on how long things take. Not everything is easy, like POTS transformation. People
Right.
say, all right, we've been hearing about this for years, not that sexy, but
Yeah.
it is complicated because it's not just getting off your legacy copper.
Right.
It's your specialty lines, all your faxes, your machines, with your burglar, your fire alarm. All of that is very complex, and they expect it, hit the easy button and it's done. No, but you need a partner that's going to be able to get you through that and set the expectations of when you'll start achieving those savings. And a big customer of ours, we did a press release at Extra Space Storage, public company.
Sure.
They have a ton of mergers and acquisitions, and for them, not only do they have a disparate network when we came to them just to deal with all this POTS aggregation, but they had all these acquiring companies.
Okay.
Hundreds of vendors,
Yeah.
different alarm panels, fire
Oh, yeah.
panels.
Yeah.
And so it was not easy, but to navigate them through that was really important. So those are the things we talk about at the summit. They hear peer review. I think the other part about POTS transformation you don't hear a lot about is the pressure customers have to sustainability or road to net
Sure,
zero.
yeah.
How does that get them there? Well, again, if you're consolidating all of that into one area for infrastructure, you're reducing the carbon footprint. And we actually have a new solution. I'm not sure if we've talked to you about it, our UEM solution.
Okay.
But it's the foundational stack that companies can take all of their energy vendors and the billing and look at what they're consuming. So if they need to move to a more sustainable, from gasoline to propane or whatever it is, or smart metering, we can show them and give them that visibility, and then they can make smart decisions. So we did that for the government, the USDA, many years ago, and now we just rolled it out commercially. So
Fantastic. Well, good luck at the customer event. Good luck on the panel. We'll wrap it up from here. And if you thought that service providers only provided connectivity, Lori would like to have a word with you.
That's true. Thank you.